Do you believe a single glance can change a star's destiny? That year, in the middle of a glittering Hollywood party, every camera turned toward one moment. When Sophia Loren cast a subtle side-eye at the plunging neckline of Jayne Mansfield. It was just a fleeting look, but it made the entire world hold its breath. In that single frame, two icons faced each other. Elegance versus daring sensuality. No one could have imagined that just a few years later, the woman with that dazzling smile would die in a horrific car crash, leaving that photo behind like an omen carved into Hollywood history. But behind that famous glance lies more than meets the eye. Secrets, whispers, and a tragedy the industry tried to bury. Stay until the end of the video to uncover the truth. And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories and the whispers that were never meant to be told. Jayne Mansfield was born in 1933 in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania, in a modest home where her father taught school and her mother dreamed of a quiet, simple life. But that peace didn't last long. When Jayne was just 3 years old, her father died of a heart attack, leaving behind a void she would never truly fill. Her mother, a strong and determined woman, moved the family to Texas, a land of sunshine, dusty red roads, and children who grew up with dreams too big to stay small. Even as a teenager, Jayne stood out. She was astonishingly intelligent. With an IQ of 163, fluent in 5 languages, able to play the piano and violin, and reading Shakespeare by the age of 10. But the world, when it looked at her, didn't see her mind. It saw those blue eyes and that perfect hourglass figure. At 17, Jayne fell in love and married Paul Mansfield, a kind and ordinary young man. She gave birth to their daughter, Jane Marie. But her heart was never meant to stay in a small house in Texas. Some say that one night in Los Angeles, Jayne Mansfield stood silently in front of a mirror for hours. Under the dim light, her dark brown hair reflected the face of a young woman desperate to be seen. She knew she had intelligence, talent, and ambition, but Hollywood didn't care about any of that. In this town, women were only remembered if they shone brighter than the spotlight itself. So Jayne twisted open a bottle of dye and watched as each brown strand vanished beneath a dazzling shade of blonde. In that moment, Vera Jane Palmer ceased to exist, and Jayne Mansfield was born. Not long after, she appeared in the February 1955 issue of Playboy. The bold photo, her innocent smile and eyes that seemed to invite the world in, set America on fire. Jayne became the talk of every newspaper, every cocktail lounge, every man's fantasy. Some believe she knew exactly what she was doing, that her boldness wasn't impulsive, but calculated. She didn't just want attention, she wanted to carve her name into the Hollywood sky, even if it cost her everything. And she did. In a single night, Jayne Mansfield, America's new blonde bombshell, exploded into the world's imagination. What do you think about this? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the hidden stories behind Hollywood's brightest lights. After her appearance in Playboy, Jayne Mansfield quickly became a name Hollywood couldn't ignore. In 1955, she signed a contract with 20th Century Fox at a time when the studio was struggling with its biggest star, Marilyn Monroe, the blonde bombshell who was both irresistible and increasingly difficult to control. And so, Jayne was pushed forward as their new weapon, a perfect copy, younger, bolder, and willing to do everything Marilyn refused. Just a year later, she starred in The Girl Can't Help It, 1956, and Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter, 1957, 2 films that turned her into a global phenomenon. Jayne wasn't just a movie star. She was a pop culture icon. a dazzling smile on every magazine cover, the ultimate symbol of unrestrained sensuality. But some said that behind the spotlight was a loneliness she never spoke of. While the world worshipped her body, they forgot about the girl with an IQ of 163 who once read Shakespeare as a child in Texas. Jayne once joked, half playfully, half painfully, "If I can't be Marilyn, I'll be me, just a little bigger." And indeed, Jayne Mansfield didn't just want to be seen. She wanted to be remembered forever. In the backstage world of 1950s Hollywood, Jayne Mansfield was the center of every camera lens. Whenever she walked into a room, photographers instinctively turned toward her, as if they too were caught under her spell. From parties and award shows to red carpets, there wasn't a single place she went without creating a moment to remember. Many insiders claimed those famous wardrobe slips, the tilts, the bends, the perfectly timed low dips, were anything but accidental. Some insisted she calculated every detail, the lighting, the camera angles, even the timing of the newspaper headlines. One photographer admitted, she knew exactly which angle would make the front page explode. For Jayne, scandal wasn't a risk. It was strategy. She understood that as long as all of Hollywood was talking about her, nothing else really mattered. No one knows whether she did it out of ambition or fear of being forgotten. But in a world full of beautiful faces, Jayne Mansfield dared to do what no one else would. She turned her body into the language of power. In 1957, at the height of her fame, Jayne Mansfield met Mickey Hargitay, the former Mr. Universe, a man whose flawless physique made America look up and take notice. They met during a show in Hollywood, where it felt as if the stage lights themselves knew they were about to witness the beginning of a new chapter in legend. She was the fiery blonde bombshell. He was the embodiment of strength and masculine beauty. Just a few months later, they were married beneath a storm of camera flashes and the cheers of the press. Some say Jayne never loved in an ordinary way. She loved like a star, passionately, impulsively, and dramatically. Together they performed, posed for photos, and built the famous Pink Palace, where everything, from the walls and curtains to the swimming pool, was coated in soft pink, like something out of a dream. But behind that dream was a fractured reality. Rumors swirled of jealousy and late-night arguments that stretched into the early hours. Jayne couldn't be contained, and Mickey, the perfect man, didn't know how to hold on to a woman born to be free. After becoming an A-list star, Jayne Mansfield became a regular guest at Hollywood's most glamorous parties, places where champagne, jazz, and power blended into one intoxicating night. She appeared everywhere, from movie sets to political soirees, always in dresses that made the entire room stop and stare. Rumors swirled that during those glittering nights, she had a secret fling with Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, who was driving America wild. Some claimed they dated in secret for months, and that Jayne was the first woman to ever make Elvis lose control. Other whispers, more shadowy and dangerous, hinted that she had been invited to private gatherings with John F. Kennedy. No one ever confirmed it, but her radiant smile in photos among the powerful kept the public endlessly curious. One journalist once wrote, "She didn't just seduce men, she seduced an entire nation." And perhaps what made Jayne so intoxicating wasn't just her beauty, but the way she turned every rumor into the fuel of her legend. When the bright lights of Hollywood began to fade, Jayne Mansfield turned to the only stage that would still have her, the nightclubs of Las Vegas. There, She stepped into the purple glow, surrounded by jazz music and the whistles of drunken spectators. Every step, every twirl was seductive and deliberate, as if she were still performing the biggest role of her life, the role of Jayne Mansfield. Those nightly shows earned her thousands of dollars, but the cost was steep. Her glamorous film image was shattered. Studios turned their backs. People who once called her the Queen of the Red Carpet now avoided even saying her name. Some believed Jayne knew exactly what she was losing but couldn't stop. Because for her, even the smallest spotlight was better than darkness. One manager once said, she wasn't a movie star anymore, she was a phenomenon. And phenomena don't last forever. In 1966, when Hollywood had nearly turned its back on her, Jayne Mansfield appeared beside a man who sent chills through America, Anton LaVey, the self-proclaimed founder of the Church of Satan. In a room filled with incense smoke and the glow of red candles, LaVey bestowed upon Jayne the title of High Priestess. The press went wild, and the public couldn't decide whether to be terrified or intrigued. Many dismissed it as a desperate PR stunt by a fading star, but other whispers suggested something deeper, that Jayne and LaVey shared a real, unsettling connection beyond theatrical spectacle. Rumor has it that after Jayne's lover Sam Brody insulted LaVey, the so-called Black Pope cast a curse. Just months later, the car carrying Jayne and Sam was crushed in a horrific highway crash. No one could ever prove anything, but Hollywood gave it a name that still lingers today: the Blonde Curse. In the early hours of June 29, 1967, the highway from Biloxi to New Orleans was wrapped in a dense, milky fog. A black Buick Electra quietly pulled away from the club where Jayne Mansfield had just finished what would be the final performance of her life. Inside the car were her lover Sam Brody, driver Ronald Harrison, and 3 children sleeping soundly in the back seat. Outside, the sky had yet to lighten, and no one knew they were heading straight toward fate. At 2:25 a.m., the car slammed into the rear of a truck spraying insecticide on the road. The impact was so violent that the front of the vehicle was crushed, killing all 3 adults instantly. Jayne, just 34 years old. Some say that in her handbag that night was an invitation from Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, who was rumored to have cursed her and Brody just months earlier. No one knows if it was true or simply Hollywood's way of explaining a tragedy too cruel to comprehend. The 3 children survived, among them Mariska Hargitay, who would later become a television star in America. That night, Hollywood fell silent. An era of blonde bombshells ended with the whisper of fog and the final dimming of the stage lights. The news of Jayne Mansfield's death spread like wildfire. But what truly sent shockwaves through America wasn't just the accident. It was the rumor that followed. Many newspapers ran sensational headlines claiming she had been decapitated. Leaked crash scene photos showing strands of blonde hair caught in the windshield made the world believe that Hollywood's most seductive star had died in the most horrific way. Later, the autopsy confirmed it wasn't true. It was just a wig. But to the public, truth was never as captivating as tragedy. People said she lived by scandal and died as one final scandal. From that accident came the Mansfield Bar, the safety bar on the rear of tractor trailers, named after her as a quiet reminder that her death saved countless lives. And even as time has covered her fame in dust, Jayne Mansfield's image endures. The dazzling smile, Sophia Loren's iconic glance, and the destiny of a woman who went too far, just to be remembered. She was brilliant, daring, and unapologetically real. in a world where beauty was a weapon and silence the price of fame. But when the lights went out, was Jayne Mansfield ever truly happy? Or was she simply a prisoner of the legend she created? A woman who loved the spotlight so much that it burned her to ashes. Hollywood called her a sex symbol, but behind that smile was a heart that longed to be seen, understood, and loved for who she truly was. And what do you think? Jayne Mansfield, a victim of fame, or a woman who dared to go too far just to be remembered? Don't forget to subscribe to uncover more real stories and the whispers Hollywood never wanted to tell.